You're listening to the CPASS Foundation podcast featuring students interested in STEM. Please welcome our cast of players.
Hi, my name is Rolph. I'm a rising junior at North Grand High School.
Hi, I'm James. I'm a rising senior at DUSL Institute.
Hi, my name is Melyna. I'm a rising senior at George Westinghouse College Prep.
Hi, my name is Elise. I'm a rising junior at Thornridge High School and a second year at CPASS STEM Scholars Academy. Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Elise. And today you're hearing directly from CPASS STEM Scholars Academy here at Lewis University. Now, this program really brings students like us from across Chicago and just around the Chicagoland area together to explore STEM subjects and STEM fields to help us grow both personally and professionally. Now, the podcast is a way for us to share our real experience and promote what CPASS is doing for our communities, and hopefully we can inspire future scholars and maybe even listeners to apply. So we should just get into it. Let's start with what it's like here at Lewis for you guys.
My experience here at Lewis has been pretty fun. I'm not gonna hold you. Because I was here last year, I kind of know my way around the campus and stuff like that. But my experience here has been pretty fun. It's a beautiful campus. It's not a lot that goes on, especially during the summer. It's a pretty nice campus. I like it here.
Well, to be here at Lewis is, like James was saying, it's a beautiful campus. The only thing I would have to say, it's I feel like it's really empty, but also I feel like it's because it's the summertime and I feel like there's no college students at this time. But also I'm from Chicago and I'm really used to hearing a lot of the street noise, a lot of the cars going by, a lot of accidents and everything that goes on in the streets. But I feel here is more quiet and it feels more peaceful.
Yeah, like Ralph said, it's a really big campus. It's really beautiful. I've taken so many photos while I was here, low-key. But it's also really quiet because we're far out and we're very far from an actual city.
Yeah, I think my experience here has been really, really good. I really like it. Like Ralph said, I live in Chicago as well. So I'm always used to going downtown and hearing the cars and the ambulances and everything. So coming from that to here is really crazy because it's so quiet here. So sometimes I even have a hard time falling asleep because I'm so used to listening to the city. But overall, I would say it's been pretty good.
So I want to know what inspired you guys to apply or for the returning students to come back here.
So my mom kind of low-key forced me to apply. Not gonna hold you, because at first the thought of me leaving for 5 weeks, not being able to see my friends, my parents, my close family members, it felt kind of rough applying, knowing that if I got in, I wouldn't be able to spend my summer with the people that I love. Until I came here, and I feel like I found a second family, a second home. So, yeah.
For me, I came back. This is my second year at the CPASS STEM Scholars Academy. Coming back, it felt better because as my first year, I was 4 weeks at the Illinois Institute of Technology, where we spent the time being at the MSI of the Museum of Science and Industry. And we were also at the Chicago School of Psychology. And I decided to come back because I felt like the first year it was really, I guess not really challenging enough, but it was mostly a lot of exploring. I was able to explore what I actually wanted to do as a career in life. And it also made me look the different perspectives there's in the different fields in engineering or in the STEM field.
Yeah, honestly, the first year that I came here, I honestly just did it for the plot. I wasn't really taking it as serious, but when I started to actually get into it and we started to actually experience and have time to get to know all the other students who were here, I loved it so much. I had to come back. I don't know what else I would be doing if I didn't do CPASS low-key. Maybe I'd get a job.
I wanted to come because I was like, okay, this is gonna be new. This is gonna be different. I was a little skeptical about the whole 5 weeks of being away from home, especially because I am a third year. It's my first and last year. But I think as soon as I got here, I was a little homesick. Of course, I think everyone was. But once you start meeting everybody and finding your friends and setting up your dorm, I think you really feel like it's your home away from home.
So, as like we spent 5 weeks together here, and do you think you guys have like grown in any way, or do you think anybody's like noticed you growing?
I would say I've grown like tremendously, especially since last summer being here. I would say I've definitely like matured in a sense. Since I did this before, I feel like this transition was not easy, but it wasn't hard either. Like I knew how to like say goodbye to my friends and family for 5 weeks, and come here and be with y'all. So
Yeah, for me, a lot of my family noticed that I personally came back as I guess a different person, because obviously I know how to take care of myself, do my own laundry and things like that. But for them to hear the way I speak, the way like I'm into things, the way that they didn't see the things I was into, like they would never think that I would be speaking to, I guess, a professional, or like speaking to, I guess, to a professional, yeah, like I said, a professional person, but also talking about what I actually want to do in life, like where like I want to go, like I want to go here, I want to go here, like basically talking about how I want my life to be set.
Yeah, honestly, I think that when I came back my first year, a lot of my family actually noticed that I was like more independent, because really CPASS does motivate you, and it does push you to be more like self-sufficient and way more like capable. And because you're away from home, you don't have your parents to take care of you. You don't have really much to rely on. So, well, you have like, of course, the other students, but you don't have like much to rely on for real.
No, yeah. I think I'm really excited to kind of go home and see how I've grown, and living back with my parents and my friends and seeing how they think I've really grown in this experience. But I think for me personally, I've really grown, and like I'm more self-sufficient, I'm more productive, and I'm not just like hanging out or in my room. Like I'm actually doing things that'll better my future.
Yeah. Really, I think that we all went to CPASS with the same goal in mind, is to go into a STEM field. But I think we should talk about what actually brought us to STEM. So how do you plan to use what you've learned moving forward in both like life and education?
So I would say what inspired me to to work in a STEM field was when I was younger, I used to like love playing with Legos. I used to like love it. So I started with like kitty Legos and stuff like that. And then when I was like 11, I got for Christmas I got the New York skyline as a Christmas present. And building it, I was like, this is something I really want to do. You know what I'm saying? I want to build like roads and bridges to help people live, and to help people the world succeed, and to help the world run smoother, which is why I chose the field of becoming a civil engineer. How I would use those tools in life, I would use them to make sure that, I'm keeping my values the same as respecting everyone else's.
What really brought me to STEM in the first place was I was really interested in medicine, specifically oncology. And that made me really like inspired to join CPASS. And I feel like having that kind of like inspiration and the motivation to help the community is like, it gets you far in life, because you're actually looking out for your fellow man and you're looking out for the other people here. But also, it makes you more like ambitious. You want to actually complete the goals. So when you go to college, it's not like you're going to want to slack off, or you're going to be like less likely to slack off, because you expect more from yourself and you just expect more out of life.
Yeah, I think what really brought me to STEM was just growing up, always taking care of my sister. And, I watched Grey's Anatomy a lot growing up. So I definitely knew I wanted to go in something as far as like the medical field. So that's why I chose being a sonographer and helping moms and babies, because I feel like that's just a really fun job, but it's still really helping a lot of people in the community. And a lot of things that, like, I guess CPASS has helped me with is just, like, staying on top of studies and meeting deadlines and being more in that professional setting, which is really going to be beneficial when I'm going to college and med school.
Yeah, for me too. For what brought me into STEM was like I was really into taking things apart. Like any device that I see, I would like to break like things apart, even from computers. Able to go from me breaking from laptops and taking them apart and then looking like, what does this do? What does this and that do? But it made me realize like I like to, I guess, break things. But also, I think that's like for me, I want to go into engineering field, which is electrical engineering. I feel like as an engineer, you always want to know a lot in detail. What does this do? What does this do? What is the problem here? Or, like, how would you fix things? And I feel like what I've learned throughout, I guess this is my second year here at CPASS, and what I've learned and what I will use towards both life and education will be that, like these classes, even though they were like difficult, I would have a better view into like how it's actually, even though this not might not be as hard as college, but I will learn like the schedule, like to always, like the earlier you are, you would have more time throughout your day to plan it out, and you will get those things done, and education as well, you will be more organized and be ready for those skills or math skills that we learn on today.
Yeah, I feel like CPAS really has you more prepared because they give you like a run through of college. But we've been here for about 3 weeks now, and have a very rigorous schedule. We have a lot of classes and we have a lot of things to complete. But we can also talk about like the fun parts and really the trips that they take us on, and really just some great experiences that we've had. Like I feel like we've all had trips that we like.
Yeah, I say especially like when we went on to Scene 75, how those funny moments, like all those fun games, especially with James, writing those.
Amen.
No, because it was funny how we were able to spend like, because we're right now for the first right now 3 weeks we're here at Lewis, and then the first years come and join us the last 2 weeks, which is out of the 5 weeks. And I guess it was fun seeing like besides all what we do, all the things we go through, like there's always a time that we could fit in like that fun time, and however we just got along, like we just connected. I mean, even though not as much, but we connected with them a lot. And we also see this like fun side of all of us, I guess, like let's say the child side of us, like we still have that inner child of us. And it was funny to see, especially with James.
Hey, why you keep bringing me up, man?
It's funny though. But yeah, I mean, it is really fun, those trips that we do.
I would say I'm really excited to get to know the first years, because since we don't live on the same campus, I feel like we only see each other once a week, so I like barely know them. So I'm excited to use these 2 weeks to get to know, the first years, because we still have like academic year programming with the first years. So I would really love to get to know them. My favorite memory was probably Navy Pier last year. That was a super fun trip. I'm not gonna lie, the boat ride was kind of boring. Several people fell asleep, including me. Yeah. But other than that, I like being around y'all downtown Chicago. The movie theater is like a close second, like a very close second. I enjoyed that. We had like the whole movie theater to ourselves watching Jurassic Park. I was getting jump scared like almost the whole movie, but that's beyond that. So I would say the movie theater is a pretty close second for me.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, one of the best memories is actually one this year was Scene 75, because when a lot of people hear 5-week summer STEM academy, they think it's going to be like really boring, but it's nice that we can still let loose and we can still have fun. And honestly, there was a lot of memories there. I would definitely go again. Yeah.
I think for me, Scene 75 was also really cool because I had always wanted to go there, but I never really got the chance. So I think it was really cool to be able to experience that, especially with like a lot of my friends now. And I think, like as James was saying, like that was really our first opportunity to hang out with the first years. Because normally when we do hang out with them, it's professional and it's networking night, but it was a really good chance to really know them for who they are rather than them being super professional. So I think I'm also really excited just to see how their schedule aligns with ours and how we're all able to connect together and really become like more of a community together.
Yeah, I definitely think that those opportunities to like get to know the first years before they move into us, really are going to play a big hand into how we are when we actually live together. But let's talk about CPASS and more so like how CPASS really does matter, because I feel like there's a lot of programs and classes that we've gone through, and I would like to know which program and classes had you feeling the most confident.
CPAS definitely does matter because it like CPAS stands for Creating Pathways and Access for Student Success. So I feel like it really does create pathways and access for student success in underrepresented communities, like the African American community, the brown community. So I definitely feel like it really does matter, especially in unrepresented communities who want to go into a field of STEM, whether that be science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or medicine. It really does matter.
Yeah, I think CPASS definitely matters a lot, especially I know one of my my two favorite classes are definitely professional development and peace and social justice, as well as college prep, just because all those classes really help you, for your future and going to college. Because I feel like in school you learn like math and reading, and that's kind of the basics, but at the end of the day, like CPASS is teaching you how to actually prepare for your future and independence, especially because a lot of minority communities are just, every family doesn't have the opportunity to really teach them because not everybody got taught themselves. So I think CPASS does a really good job of just being able to give us the whole experience.
Yeah, also saying what you said, I feel like CPASS is also for me is the math classes made me feel more confident, remembering all those skills that I've maybe forgotten now, but it made me get faster at my math skills for once in the class that I'm going to take this year. But yeah, I feel like I couldn't find anywhere else because you always have to pay for these type of things. But knowing that CPASS is like a free 5 weeks out of college campus, and you don't have to worry about anything you have to buy or anything, but it's really good.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like math really was one of the classes that made me feel more confident in my skills because I was never that good at math. And we have like such great instructors here. We have really great instructors, especially our math teacher, Dr. Schultz. He really helps me like understand exactly like what's going on. And we're even touching on some subjects that I wasn't even taught. So I feel like CPASS was really a big opportunity in and of itself. And there's a lot of opportunities that also come in here. And I would like to know like which ones help you the most.
For me would be the national college tours that we do, which so far last we did to California, which we visited Stanford, University of California, Berkeley, and Santa Clara. And I was also part of the North Carolina trip, which we went to Duke and Cat, and I think that was what I remember, and Elon University. And I feel like those gave you a good experience to see those campuses in real life, and also get to see, I guess, some of the student life and hear from actual students like their own experience, and also how like you could see yourself, or like if you could see yourself in those colleges.
Yeah, I went on the North Carolina tour with Rolph, and I agree with everything he said. It feels like amazing to see it's a difference when you like look it up and do like a virtual tour rather than like actually going to the college. So I feel like that North Carolina tour was like super special.
Well, honestly, one of the best opportunities I think we have here is like networking night, because in any other scenario, I highly doubt that there would be a chance for me to talk to so many professionals and so many people who have gone through college and who have been willing to like share their journey and share their wisdom through their experience. But to wrap it up, what advice would you think you would give to somebody who's thinking about applying to CPASS?
I would say, don't let the 5 weeks like discourage you from applying. Like, even though they say like, oh, you won't see your parents for 5 weeks, don't let that discourage you, because like you'll still call them. It'll be like at 6:30 in the morning and like 10:30 at night, but you'll still be able to talk to them. You might not be able to see your friends for 5 weeks, but I would say don't let that discourage you. You should still go. You should still try it out. And even if it doesn't try out, you might not want to come back. Just try it out. See how it goes.
Yeah, I feel like for me, this is hard. I'd say don't get scared. Like, just fill out the application. Even if you like, oh, I'm not smart enough or I'm not going to get in, do it. Because honestly, I was like, oh, I'm not going to get in. Like, I don't know how this is going to go. But I got in. And, it's a really selective program. But they do really look at each application individual and really see you for who you are. And it's not just about your grades or your GPA. They really look at you for your experiences. And they want to help you build up that resume and everything. And like James said, don't let the 5 weeks scare you, because at the end of the day, you got this.
An advice that I would say is to once you join, to put in that hard work, because it will all pay off, and you'll see it when you join, because trust me, it's gonna pay off.
Honestly, like what Melyna was saying, that you just have to go for it, because honestly, I didn't think I was gonna get in the first chance, because they really do look at your character, and they really do look at your potential too. So if you get in, you're in. I wouldn't say like you've made it, but you're on there. So thank you for tuning into our CPASS Scholar episode from Lewis University. If you're a student thinking about STEM and going into STEM field, I strongly encourage you to apply. But if you're thinking of someone who can support the next generation, you should check out cpassfoundation.org, because we're the future, and CPASS is making that future possible.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of Lewis University or CPASS Foundation. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. Lewis University and CPASS Foundation names and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. This podcast was produced in the WLRA podcast studios at Lewis University. Visit lewisu.edu for more.